Now, we're continuing to look at body shapes this morning and how to dress to suit your proportions. So stylist Laura Jordan was with us earlier on. You've stayed with us, Laura.
Yes.
Loads of people getting in touch with us this morning asking about this particular slot. And I have to say it's probably one of the most educational in terms of fashion slots that we've done in quite some time. So earlier on, we were talking about 3 different body shapes. We're going to go through them again.
Yes.
And the first body shape was the curvy pear shape, which, as you said, is probably the most common body shape in Ireland anyway.
In Ireland and the UK, and that's why I think it's really important to highlight the fact, even for retailers, to be catering for this in terms of design is very, very important. You can't just scale up a dress. You can't expect something that fits a size 6 to fit a size 16 to fit a size 26 and look well. It will fit, but it needs to look well.
But it won't highlight the right points.
Exactly, and that's very, very important. And as well, I think I mentioned that to you just as we were chatting in the break, that if you don't get hung up on what's written on the tag.
Yes.
Absolutely not, because the clothes sometimes that looks well on you is not necessarily the clothes that fits you. Just because you can get into something doesn't mean it looks well.
Well, we have Anna who's going to join us here and joined us earlier on. And Anna very kindly is going to let us demonstrate your piece of string. I love the fact that you don't like to use a measuring tape, by the way.
Never. I just don't think it's helpful, in the same way that you're really looking at proportions of bust to waist. Don't even get too caught up on the idea of it being, you know, a label, like a pear or an apple or a straight or an inverted triangle. Just worry about the proportion. So we'll do another demo of how to, again, piece of garden string. Nothing fancy. And all you're going to do is literally, with your clothes on, your underwear on, you're going to find the widest part you can find, and then you're going to, I've pre-cut this one, but you're going to pull it nice and tight. And you're going to just, you can even lay it on the ground if you like. That's even as helpful as looking at it. So I might just do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just pop it here, nice and straight. And then I'm going to, again, my pre-cut piece. So what we're going to do with this is just do it around the waist. And you're looking for the largest part you can find. So again, we all know
around bum, hip area.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you cut it and measure it off. And typically what you'll find for most women in the country when they do this exercise, when they lay the 2 pieces of string on the ground, you'll find the one from the top, from the bust, is shorter, and the one from the hips and the waist is longer. Doesn't matter the proportion. If, by the way, they're balanced, it means you have a balanced shape. It can be hourglass, as in the same proportion here and here, or it can be straight, as in the same smaller size here and here, without the defined waist. So that's why we were talking about that earlier, about defining the waist. But typically that's what you're looking at. So in terms of choosing outfits then, and what we have here with this dress, we have a high neck because the bust is smaller. We've brought the eye up, controlling the focus with the jewellery. So bring the eye right up here, let it skim over the midsection. And what we have with this ruffle is bringing the eye down to the knee, which is the narrower
earlier
part.
on, Laura, sorry to cut across you, you used the earrings to bring the focus up. In this one, you're using the necklace.
Yeah, and again, still a high neck, still a sleeve. So we're not saying sleeveless, it puts the fear in most women, so we're not going to do that. Or again, there's a belt that comes with this dress if you wish to use it. We've just decided to leave without for this morning. And then the ruffle down the front brings the eye to the knee, which is the narrowest part of the leg. So you control where people look, really.
Laura, if I'm honest, I would have said a ruffle like
you would
that.
Have said avoid.
Bulk. I would just avoid bulk, you know, because I would be afraid that it's adding extra fabric or inches to me.
Yeah, the key thing is to avoid bulk at the sides. So you're not actually adding width to that look at all. What you're doing is you're just letting it flow through the centre. This is ideal for a woman who says, I'm not comfortable in having my tummy on view without a pattern we used earlier to kind of give a little bit of camouflage, soften it. And we're doing the same with the ruffle to soften it at the front.
Okay, so it's strategically placed, really, isn't it? Whether it's ruching or a ripple or whatever.
Yeah, just and that's not at the side, but that's somewhere in the centre to control the focus again of where people look. We control where people look by the details we add to our outfit.
Brilliant. Okay, and as you said, that's most Irish shapes are the pear.
Yes, it's the most common.
Or curvy.
Yeah, 60%.
Now Ursula gave us an example of that perfect hourglass figure.
Yes, she did indeed. And what we're again doing is moving from the concept of hourglass being the sexy dress to something that's more wearable in terms of separates. So what you're noticing here is a really cinched in waist. This top will work really well on the curved pear shape as well, because what it's doing is it's just flowing out from the midsection. So cinching in the waist and then flowing out. Again, we're seeing the necklace, which works well at the top. Just just again at the top half to give a little bit of sparkle and move the eye up towards the face. So you can see you're controlling the focus in this look by having it at the neck, having it at the midsection with the ripple, and then we also have it with the bag, which we'll see in a moment, with the scarf on it. Just these are the 3 key style points within the look.
Okay.
What you're trying to do is, if you can, be an odd number, so have 3 key style points as opposed to having an even number. Actually works better in odds, but that's another day's story.
Wow, that's kind of high tech. That's like applied stylist stuff,
applied,
isn't it?
yeah, that's the advanced course. And even the pop of colour that we put there and bringing it down to the shoes as well, just gives something simple, a little bit of detail. I love the back of those shoes with a little bit of sparkle, just something different
Plenty
as
of
well.
bling on those shoes for a pair of flats, isn't there?
Exactly, yeah. It just gives a nice little bit of detail there, and it pulls the look together nicely.
Okay, thank you very much, Ursula. We're not jealous of your figure at all. And the third body shape this morning is that boyish, straight shape. Describe it as straight?
Yeah. So when you have a boyish straight shape, you need to add tailoring to it, which is what we've done here with the cut on the top, giving us a bit of tailoring, to be honest, right here, cinching in then at the waist, which we can see with the tie on it. And again, a V-neck can work well when you have the earring detail, just to pull it all together. You're just trying to create a curve. And that's what you're doing. And again, as we mentioned earlier, if you have a narrow figure, then show it off and have, show off the legs if you have them lean and long, which typically goes with that boyish shape.
Absolutely.
And again, we've created the curve at the centre using the tie across.
Brilliant, okay. You made the point earlier on, Laura, and I think it's such an important point, and women, and possibly men, need to be reminded of it as well. Ignore the numbers. You can get really hung up on, I'm not buying that if it's a size 14 or 16 or an 18 or 20 or whatever it might be. I'm not jumping to that size.
Exactly, and the reason for that being, there is no standardisation. You'll be a 10 in one shop, a 14 in another, depending on the way the store has decided to organise their seam allowances, to organise their sizing, their sample models, their fit testing. So there's a lot involved in it, really, and I always say that to everybody, please don't get hung up on it, because it really is something that it's not standardised. You do have to try on, even online shopping, buy a couple of sizes, try them on in the comfort of your own home, and thank God returns policies are brilliant now. You can afford to send whatever's not right back.
Brilliant. Okay, some great tips there this morning, Laura. Thank you very much.